Number 10, Jim Zorn,
Right.
one of the great Seahawks of all time. Terrell Owens, not one of the great Seahawks of all time. In fact, I think Bob and I are simpatico on today's issue, which is, and Eric Williams talked with us, you can check it out on the podcast from the Tacoma News-Tribune. He talked about T.O. maybe showing some signs of being the old T.O. You and I not talking about that, having not seen that, think more that basically because of how other guys have performed, this game coming up, and depending on when you see this, we'll just say the day, this game coming up on Friday, the third preseason game, may be the key game for T.O. if he's going to be a Seahawk.
I think it's crucial because this is a guy that, whether what Eric wrote, and Eric wrote just a very brief line, and again, the podcast, you can hear him explain it, just saying he looks like the old T.O., that he was complaining about a call he didn't get in practice, and that he kind of let it linger for about 10 minutes of complaining and kind of making reference to the old T.O., and then we saw them make a concerted effort to get him the ball in game two.
Five times,
and one was an absolute gem thrown by Matt Flynn in the end zone that just went right through his hands. So I just think this is a guy at the age of 38, he's going to be 39 coming up here. He's fighting for a job. If he doesn't dazzle in this game against the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't think he's got a spot on this roster. I'm not sure where he fits when you got another big receiver like Braylon Edwards, who's had some personality issues in the past, but has been phenomenal in camp, phenomenal in the games. I just don't think there's room for both, and T.O., to me, better distinguish himself. He better separate himself.
Well, he's close. This is the thing about that last game where obviously the fact that threw to him 5 times and got nothing out of it jumps out. I don't know how many times I've seen the replay of him dropping the one that was right in his hands, the perfect pass by Matt Flynn. But on that play, on a couple other plays, he sort of showed one part of the equation. He showed that he can still separate. He certainly did on that long pass. Didn't catch it, but got himself open. And I think that was an original concern of his. Now, he's a guy who has dropped some passes before, so I don't know if that's necessarily held against him. But I'd agree with you. He certainly at least has got to look like, if it's possible, he's on the same page as his quarterback,
right?
If nothing else, and is going to have to show again. I certainly think you're right about this, that he has that breakaway. He can still separate. Mm-hmm. Then add the third element to it of catching. At least he can stay for another week. But you hit the nail on the head. Braylon Edwards, a couple of other guys for the Seahawks have stepped up.
Yeah.
He's got to step up, or it is sayonara.
Yeah, Deion Butler, another guy who's fighting for a job, has looked very good. Obamanu is the only guy out there that plays special teams, so you figure he's got a leg up on the competition. So Durham is a guy maybe he's battling with. I don't feel like he's battling with Braylon anymore. With Pete, maybe it turns out to be completely backward, and T.O. will get the gig, and Braylon's bye-bye. But I just think this is a guy that, at that time you could have said, well, he hasn't had a lot of camp yet, hasn't had a lot of reps, he's still learning. You can't say that anymore.
No.
You can't say that. He's had enough reps. He's been in there long enough at this point to kind of understand a very vanilla offense they're running, too. They're not. Keep in mind, they're not opening up the playbook in preseason. It's not like he's learning the entire offense, and he should be that confused. So I think this is a do-or-die game for him, because I don't know what lighting it up against the Raiders in Game 4 when they're not going to play any starters will do for anybody.
All right, prediction time. Think he has a big game or not?
I don't think he makes the team.
Me either.